4 days until the 2023 NFL draft, man. Gentlemen, tell me how we feeling. I know it's a Sunday fun day, but man, I mean, wow. 4 days, man.
Man, if I was to say excited, I'd be lying. Like excited is an understatement. Excited is an extraordinary understatement, man. I'm so amped up for this draft, not just for as a Patriot fan, but as a football fan entirely. Like I can't wait, man. I think this draft is gonna be one for the ages. I really believe it's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of tricks and some mind games and screens and stuff that's going on right now. I mean, I'm very excited, and we got just 4 days away, as Harvey said, 4 Prescott days away. But yeah, 4 days away, man. I'm excited.
4 Dakota Prescott days. Walt, what's going through your mind? I mean, you've been scouting, you've been giving us heads up on players that hey, we need to go watch this guy. I mean, what
that man don't sleep, man.
he doesn't. He's a machine.
I don't. Look at my face.
I know.
No, man. I'm amazed at how much talent is in this draft, how deep it is, and how much parity it is at the same time.
Yeah.
We have no idea who the number one corner is going to be. No idea who the number one receiver is going to be. We have no idea who the number one offensive lineman is going to be. Quarterback is still up in the air. Running back is up in the air. Like, there's a lot of positions that's still up in the air. It's safety. We've seen, battle number one starting, last offseason. He started out as number one, potential top 10 pick from Alabama, that is. He's dropped to potentially a second or third round pick. His running mate, what's the other guy's name? Branch.
Yeah, Brian Branch.
Yep, Brian Branch. He could be the first safety taken, but is he really a slot corner? He still has a lot to learn on the back end. You got a silent guy like Antonio Johnson, who's been a consistent top 20 pick, first round pick on a lot of boards since last offseason. Teams have been pretty silent on him. He's a guy who I had mocked to the Kansas City Chiefs actually a little while ago. So it's very interesting, man. I think we're going to see a lot of trades in the first round, and we're going to see certain position groups really start to fall off and trail off towards the end of the first.
All right, let's get into it. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, how's your Sunday fun day? I know you're a little bit under the weather, but hey, you're pulling through, man.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. The remedy is the NFL, man. Football. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it always is.
You got to keep going. But no, man. It's interesting, and this is off of Walt's show the other day. He talked about a couple of players, and to me, I'm starting to do the numbers right. So this is the thing, and I'll give it to Walt. How many offensive linemen do you see going in the draft? That's my question to you, and I'll keep count. Potentially.
Great question.
All right, so we're talking about first round picks, right?
First round
total.
Okay. Let me take a quick look at this list right here. I'm gonna do just the tackles. Just the tackles first. Okay. All right, so we're looking at Pete Skoronski, even though he could potentially be a guard. He's a consistent first-round pick. I feel solid taking him in the first round. Paris Johnson of Ohio State, he's a first. Darnell Wright, who we all love, he's a first. Broderick Jones also. Now, once you get past Broderick Jones, for me, it's Antoine Harrison. I think Antoine Harrison is probably the best natural athlete playing tackle. Teams have been down on him a lot this season. I don't really understand why. I thought he had a very good season once again like he did in 2021. Sorry about that. That kind of ends it for me as far as the tackles. Now, if we go to 1 second, we go to the guard position. O'Cyrus Torrence is probably the wild card. I think it's consistent that he's either a mid to late first round pick or early second. More than likely, he's going to be the first guard off the board. I'd be shocked if he wasn't, with the outside chance of a guy like Steve Avila. So, keeping track of that number. There's a lot of quality players, but as far as like lock first round picks, I don't think so.
Okay.
How many?
Well, how do you feel about the tackle? My fault, Jerry. How do you feel about the tackle out of Alabama? Is it Steen? Steele, Steen, I think ain't he a guard or tackle?
I
Could you
think
see him pop?
they're seeing him as both right now.
Uh-huh.
He's an offensive tackle that could go to
Yeah, I've been seeing his stock
offensive
rising a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Bama's a brand. We talked about.
yeah, it is. It is, man. It's hard to really find bad Bama products along that offensive line or defensive line. I'm just not really. For me, when it comes to him, it's the lack of pass rushing. I mean, his lack of footwork when it comes to defending the pocket. That's my main thing. I think he's better right now as far as a road grader in the run game, but I still don't have him as far as a top 50 player though.
Okay.
Now there's some guys out there. Bergeron, the tackle from Syracuse, he's a guy that a lot of teams have been high on since last offseason. But once again, his stock is kind of fluctuated. Some people think he's a dark horse late first round pick. Some people think he's a third round pick.
So Kendall, where you at with this?
With this offensive line class, like I've said it from the start, I think it's one of the deepest in a while from the tackle and guard. Tackle and guard standpoint. That's why I mentioned Steen or whatnot. I've seen a lot of tape on it, and I've seen his stock. Like I've seen some people having like later on, late first, early second. Like his stock has been rising, I guess, since his pro day and whatnot, and based off the film he put on last year, whatnot. I do like the guy out of Florida. Was it Green? You called his name a while ago.
Torrance. Osiris Torrance.
Torrance. Osiris Torrance. Yeah, I do like him and whatnot. But I think it's one of the deepest. That's what I've been saying. Like a lot of teams, I don't think they should panic if they don't get that guy in the first round, along with the cornerback position. I think tackle corner one of the deepest in this draft in a while, and I think in the top 10, we can see a bunch of them come off the board.
Well, Cody Mock of North Dakota State's another guy.
I forgot about him. Mm-hmm.
Real solid player, man. Inside out.
So
he's got the look of an offensive lineman.
The thing is, he can play. He can play everywhere.
I think he even said it. He'll play center, guard, and tackle, and he's listed as a tackle right now. But I'll get
the kid out of BYU too, Breland.
Oh yeah,
he's an athlete, man.
Mm-hmm.
Walt mentioned his name early in the process. I remember seeing that. But I will tell you this: my favorite offensive lineman that I've seen his draft type is sky high is Darnell Wright, man. I mean, this is the guy that, on the Cowboy Kids, this is who we've been talking about, man. We've been saying this guy, we want him. Let him fall to us. The reason why is because when you stick on the tape, especially with an edge rusher like Will Anderson, he had his way with Will Anderson, and he's nasty and powerful, strong. Everything you would like. I know he's been on the right side. I know he's played left tackle, right tackle. Some scouts say that maybe he can even make the transition to being a guard. So, anytime you hear that, it's like, oh wow, you kind of like you think of recent offensive tackles that made a good transition to guard or played left tackle or just been a solid tackle in the NFL. Rashawn Slater comes to mind. So, man, that's a name for me, Harv.
So the other thing is, how many do you think one center will go at least? I just need a vote.
In the
I
first
don't think
round?
so.
No? You don't think a center will go?
In the first round?
It's possible. Anything is possible.
Later on, probably later on, like in the back end, I can see it.
Okay. So we talked about the guards. So total, we have 9 players.
9.
Now let's go to quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks will be taken?
That's 4.
10, probably 5. 4. Yeah, 4.
Maybe 5. Yeah, we've been seeing Hendon Hooker, like his name is sky high right now. So there might be 5, but yeah, I mean, reports are crazy right now. Lies are going everywhere. I think even Chris Ballard said that he was the biggest liar of them all, right? The Colts GM saying that he's the one that just saying lies about everything just so nobody can read his poker face, I guess. But I mean, possibly 5 quarterbacks. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I can roll with that. We're looking at Stroud, Young, Levis, Richardson, and Hooker. So if all four of the top four guys all go early, which we expect them to within the top 7 picks in some kind of order, whether teams trade up or not, now you're looking at an arms race for Hendon Hooker, more than likely, because the fall off after Hooker is pretty steep.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is like
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Walt.
So
Hey, well, let me ask you this right quick. Consider if let's just say Hooker wasn't his age, let's just say he was as young as Anthony Richardson coming out, and if he wasn't coming off that injury, would you put him ahead of Richardson?
Nah, I wouldn't, for the simple fact that I watched him play at Virginia Tech a little bit, and he was nothing like the player he was at Tennessee. And I'm kind of skeptical because, like I said before, people are skeptical of the Tennessee receivers for playing in that system. Well, I'm skeptical of him. So I kind of feel like, was it him or was it just the complete perfect storm, the offensive coordinator, the coach, the system, the receivers, and everything just coming together for him? Because I didn't really see him make a lot of NFL throws in the tight windows like I did of some of the other guys. So I'm
It seemed
skeptical
like every
of it.
time somebody was running wide open. I watched that Bama game from last year, and Howie was wide open at least 3 times that game.
Yeah, so
Well, they scouts have said that Hendon Hooker has a better deep throw as far as accuracy than Will Levis.
yeah, he does.
I'm just saying. So
that's obvious, but Levis is kind of extra yoked up, man. He's too muscular, so everything comes out flat with him. I mean, you and I discussed Levis quite a few times, but
we have.
yeah.
And then he was showing off with the what was it? With the kneeling down, hitting the crossbar at 50 yards out, I think recently, and somebody said Kyle Bowler used to do that from 70 yards.
That's very impressive.
Uh,
That's very needed on the NFL field.
yeah, for sure. I mean, Jamarcus Russell comes to mind on that one, but Jamarcus Russell, I think he was a 90-yard ball. I don't know. I don't remember how far he was throwing it, but crazy. How many is that, Harv? How many are we up to?
So right now we're at 12.
12 players. That's what
Potentially.
line.
Yep, potentially 12.
Leaving us with
Defensive ends,
our edge rushers, right?
edge rushers. So where are we at with that number, gentlemen? What do you think, Kendall?
Man, you got Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson. I mean, you got some guys. Like, I mean, we all assume that Will Anderson probably can go 3 to Arizona. Tyree Wilson, maybe to Atlanta, maybe the Raiders, or where they pick at. I mean, like, it's a good Nolan Smith. Probably, I think a lot of people got him locked in to Philadelphia back there. Then you got what's the kid out of Clemson?
Miles Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy. So I mean, you got
and then your boy Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
6.
like, you got
Hey,
a lot.
let me throw one. Let me throw a name in there. How about Jalen Carter?
Jalen
I know
Carter.
he's an edge rusher, but he's
So
defensive.
where would y'all put Drew Sanders, outside linebacker?
Hey, man, he's a defensive tackle. You guys can't throw him at edge rusher. We said edge rusher, man.
Yeah,
We're talking about defensive line.
We said
we
edge
can-
rusher.
we can do defensive line. Let's do defensive line.
Because we did say defensive tackles earlier, but
I mean, so where are we at now? What's that? 5?
7.
That's 7. So yeah, that's half the damn draft.
What about Will McDonald, Mozzie Smith?
yeah.
Throw them in there. Will McDonald, I think he's gonna be a
Alright.
first rounder.
So if we're at 12, and we just named 9 players from defensive line, that puts us at 21. Anywhere between, we can say 19 to 21. So more than likely, 19 to 21 players could go in the draft just based off those positions: quarterback, defensive line, right, and offensive line. Possibly. There's 10 more slots.
Oh,
And you know what that's going to do? That's going to push
31 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could see
players down.
we could see no linebackers taken in the first round. We could see no safeties taken in the first round. If we just start like the process of elimination for certain positions, like I said, we could see. Not to say that Drew Sanders isn't talent-wise a first-round pick, or Davion Henley isn't talent-wise a first-round pick, or even depending on how some people feel about Trenton Simpson, but those guys could just by default fall out. So I'm thinking linebacker. I'm thinking safety. Outside of that, I mean, we're going to see corners go.
Yeah.
Correct.
We're going to see wide receivers also. Probably a couple just because of the weapons. Maybe one tight end.
It's getting slim, man.
The thing is who will fall out of the top 15, you know, and of course when we're talking about that, not once have we even talked about a wide receiver.
Right.
You know, and then we haven't even mentioned the corners at this point too. We got a bunch of talented defensive backs. We got a bunch of talented wide receivers. Gentlemen, is it safe to say that a cornerback will go within those first what was it, 21 picks?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Maybe two?
I say two. The top two, they'll go with the first 20 picks.
So the rest of those top name players like the Dalton Kincaids, we haven't even talked about that Bijan Robinson kid. We haven't even talked about Jackson Smith and Jigba. When we look at the big picture, do you see what's going to end up happening if these teams stay disciplined and draft and rebuild their offensive lines? Let me ask you guys this question now, right? Because this is a great topic already, and thank you for bringing this up, right? The possibility is real. If you can't just kind of give us a little summary, and I can go ahead and ask you guys the next question.
So my thing is the biggest thing, and that's why I said, man, I got to think about this. Last year, 9 offensive linemen were taken. 9.
It's crazy.
And the first 5 offensive linemen were taken in the top 17 picks. So, I mean, it's transitioning. And the year before that, 5 offensive linemen were taken within the 17th, I think, picks. So that's my thing, is that as we transition, are these teams getting smarter? Are we going to, protect our quarterback and build in the trenches? If that's the case, then, and if this continues going through this draft, there's going to be a lot of players that are going to fall in the back end of this first round. So I'm just saying there's a possibility. Don't be surprised if teams start just trading out of nowhere at the back end of this first round. So it's going to be interesting.
Interesting, Jeff. Let's go to we have a couple comments here. I watch this Dwight Thrasher. I watch every SEC game. Hooker has the best deep ball in this draft class. Ooh, Dwight, that is very bold, man. I like this though. Walt might be a little bit I don't know, Walt. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the degree of it, the touch and everything, the arc of it, but like I said, most of it was to wide open receivers. Now, if we're judging the deep ball off of degree of difficulty, you look at a guy like Levis, who was pretty much throwing to covered guys consistently, so his margin of error was a little different. Stroud as well, even though Marvin Harrison is all world and going to be a top 5 pick next season, he made more big time covered downfield throws. I believe Bryce Young also, who lost 5 of his weapons from a year ago. If you're talking about touch, degree of difficulty, ball placement against tight coverage, I think all of those guys made way better NFL throws than Hooker.
And then we got a Mark Vanette. Is this his first time here?
I don't know. I'm gonna.
Man. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for being a part of the comment section. Anytime that you guys join the stream, I hope you're subscribed to the East West Football. And then remember, check out our website, eastwestfootball.com. You can see Walt's scouting profiles. We also have Philip Smith. We got Ali Jawad. Welcome back, Ali. Great to have you back on. Mark Vanette says, why Bijan might fall?
What I think we discussed that already.
I think he's concurring with why
could Bijan fall out the first, and then whoever has the most picks could trade up and with whoever. Doesn't Pittsburgh pick at the top of the second? They got the Bears pick, I believe.
Look. Let's be honest. If I don't know,
he ain't going to Pittsburgh.
I don't see him coming out of the first, because I think to be quite honest, I mean, from what we've been seeing in Cowboy Nation is it's a consensus. Harv, if Bijan is there at 26, what's the selection for the Cowboys?
It's Bijan Robinson.
It's Bijan Robinson.
That's Jerry Jones.
He wants to make a splash, and that's his splash. I mean,
hey, well, let me ask you guys this: if Dallas doesn't take him, you've got right after that, you've got Buffalo, you've got Cincinnati, who's on their way to releasing Joe Mixon.
Yep.
Not so much the Saints, but then you got Philly at 30, and then you got Kansas City at 31. Now, I do like Pacheco. He gave them a lot as a late round pick, a 7th round pick. But man, like, could you imagine if Bijan Robinson fell into the Kansas City Chiefs' laps?
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Or even Jahmyr Gibbs, for that matter. You put Jahmyr Gibbs with Andy Reid.
Just cancel the league, man.
Crown him.
And that keeps Mahomes healthier.
They went to the Super Bowl last year. Did you see that wide receiver core they had last year? Juju Smith-Schuster, who was now with the Patriots, was the best wide receiver. Marquez Bentley-Scantling. They haven't even gotten out of Sky Moore yet. They traded for Kadarius Toney.
I like Sky Moore.
Yeah, but I do too. But I'm like, they didn't. And Pacheco came out of nowhere. Like, what round did he come out with KC this past?
7.
7, yeah. So I mean, they didn't even have all world talent this year. Mahomes was so great. Just add Robinson, or even not even just Robinson, add a Gibbs.
So I mean, we all agree that they need to add an upgrade of weaponry around him.
I mean, you even were alluding to it, the Eagles. I mean, but there's some rumors. I don't know if it's true. It was Agbir. How do you say his name, Kendall? The former defensive end.
Agbir Gajamila, I believe, from Green. We played with Green Bay, right?
His defensive end, and he worked for the NFL Network.
Gajamila Billa. I probably said it wrong, but
he's saying that Derrick Henry is going to be traded to the Eagles during the draft. AJ Brown.
I wouldn't be shocked if he does get traded during the draft.
If this happens, damn. Howie Roseman is probably the smartest wheeling, dealing general manager that we've ever seen in the entire NFL. Is this an easy statement to agree with?
You know what it reminds me of if that does happen is
movie Draft Day.
Draft Day all day. Kevin Costner, man. I mean, you got to hand it to him. And then I still haven't seen the contract, but what it looks like is it's backloaded, man. They've made it to where early on in Jalen Hurts' career, they can just go out and get people. That's what it looks like. And it's going to, man, people got to stay up with that, man. It's going to be really hard.
No, what you mean by people is that other general managers in the NFL, they need to see what the hell he's doing and do it exactly like that, because his salary, his average annual salary is not going to be $51 million. So they're not gonna put themselves in a Dak Prescott, or a Daniel Jones situation where he's costing $41 million. No, I believe that the numbers were about he's going to be averaging 19 the first year, 21, 22, and 21.5. That's going to be the first 4 years of his extension. From not even the first year, because it's an extension. So this will be the continuing from it, and it like Harvey said, it's backloaded, and from there they already paid out the majority. Damn, these Eagles and Howie Roseman is just a genius.
Jay Glazer is reporting right now that those rumors are not real as we speak right now.
Oh,
he said Jay Glazer is reporting that. That's cut that just came out. Jay Glazer reporting that those are not real right now. But he is 29 years old, be 30 in January. The start of the year 2024, but so he's not. I mean, there is a lot of miles on that body because he's been running for the Titans for a while now. But he's 29 years old, and he gets he had about 25, 30 carries a game. So I mean, got to see how much tread is left there. He had an okay year last year, but I mean, I didn't see Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Kendall,
he had 1,500 yards rushing.
A great season, Kendall.
I seen some games last year.
No,
he had 1,500 yards rushing,
12 touchdowns
with no quarterback.
Yeah. I feel he had an okay season last year.
It wasn't okay. He was one of the best running backs.
1,500 is okay. So what's great?
I feel it was okay. I feel season last year was okay. I feel like sometimes when I watch him,
Kendall.
he doesn't run as hard throughout the whole
Damn.
game. That's how I feel about Derrick
Shit,
Henry.
you-
And also,
They've been beating
Ron
him
Clark,
up the past 4 years, man.
That is a
listen,
true statement.
I'm not the only one that said it. Ron Clark said the same thing about Derrick Henry. He said the same thing about him. He said he doesn't run the same every game. And I seen that last year. Yeah, he had a, you're saying he had a good
He
year.
averaged 4.4 yards a carry.
Did you go back? I think it was
That
the
means
Eagles.
that means if he carries the ball 2 times, you need roughly about 2 yards to get a first down.
Man,
By
listen.
my standards, are okay.
15
I don't
100 yards.
I don't think the Titans are going to get for him what they want or what
No,
they
they're not.
expect,
No,
man.
they won't.
I mean, I'll just say
They're
this. Thank God for the rookie pay scale. Because, like I said, going back to Kansas City, if you can get a Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs at pick 31 and pay them peanuts for the first 4 years, and if a Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs turns out to be worth that second contract, and Mahomes is still at his top, top tier level, you're willing to do it in most cases because you want to keep that dynasty going. So I think a running back is more worth it now for certain teams.
But my thing is, does Bijan fit their scheme more than Gibbs?
I think Gibbs gives them more pizzazz, considering the fact that he's kind of like a glorified slot receiver.
Yeah.
But
That's the only thing I don't see. I don't see Bijan going to Kansas City. I think
Bijan can run in any system though.
I think they'd rather have Gibbs though, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean he gives them more versatility. He's got less tread. He's still got more tread on the tire, I think, than Bijan has over the past couple of years. So,
and just for clarification, we're not trying to pick on you, Kendall. We understand because I had the similar conversation with Harb, but Derrick Henry had 349 rushing attempts for 1,538 yards. He scored 13 touchdowns, and he averaged 4.4 yards. So that's actually a really good season for a running back. So
with no quarterback.
So this is the thing I say about Derrick Henry that guy really doesn't take Does he really take punishment? He doesn't.
I think they all take punishment.
Yeah, they do. I get that part. But I'm saying, like, if you compare him to Ezekiel Elliott lowers his shoulder and hits people. Where Derrick Henry, nobody's trying to do that. They're trying to tackle his legs.
I've seen Derrick Henry.
I'm just saying.
I think they all break down. We saw Eddie George slowly break down. We saw Jamal Anderson.
He just turned 29 in January, so he's still.
Who really views him as the missing link though?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard when Miles Sanders is gone. Now you still have those little 2 scat backs, so they need that top running back. Dwight Thrasher comment: Henry to the Eagles and Gibbs to Kansas City would be crazy.
I actually think Gibbs would fit Philadelphia better than Henry.
Man, I think Gibbs would fit. Yeah. I think Gibbs would fit with the Bengals, man.
I think Bijan would fit anywhere too. I mean, Gibbs just gives you that versatility in the pass game. And Jerry, you and I had a conversation about him and Detroit and Bijan Robinson and who would be a better fit. And you made a valid point in the sense that Gibbs, if we had Jahmyr Gibbs, Ben Johnson would be more prone to throw the ball more.
Yep.
If we had Jahmyr Gibbs. We had Bijan Robinson will offensively force us to be more balanced.
It's true.
I mean, the speed of Gibbs, man, is just
so is Minnesota out of this for Bijan?
Man, I might care about them.
I'm just saying you can say that.
Might care about that,
but I'm just saying, like,
I'm just messing around, man.
You know how we feel about the Eagles then.
Cook.
They don't want Delvin Cook.
Well,
yeah, I mean, I don't know, Jared. And I've joked about this. Like, I don't really hate the Bears. I kind of view the Bears like a little stepbrother or something. I don't hate the Vikings. I mean, I do. Yeah. I'll be honest. Like, I really don't like the Vikings, man. They always just been frauds to me, man.
Yeah,
they always been frauds. How you guys feel about the Eagles? No. Let me ask you this: as a Cowboys fan, who do you guys hate more? As a fan base, Eagles.
It used to be the
Washington or the Giants.
It used to be the Redskins. We couldn't stand the Redskins. That was the rivalry. But ever since the whole Commanders thing, it's just one of those things. So You know, I think as of late, the Eagles have been the nuisance team that has been annoying because they want to.
They've won, and they've been to a couple Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, that they finally won after like 60-year drought, I believe,
Yeah.
or 57-year drought. So congratulations, Eagles, on your one Super Bowl win, and then your second place trophy for a year ago. But yeah, I guess the Eagles are becoming the new age, I guess, annoying team or rival team because they're trying to make the moves to hang around with the big boys. You know what I mean? But people need to understand. Including my Patriots colleague here, and of course my Lions colleague. Every year is the Cowboys' year. Okay,
This is my thing. I agree. I think the Eagles are the ones that are becoming more competitive. I'm not gonna say I hate. I don't like to use the word hate, right? But if you look
football hate,
but the only reason I say that is because if you look at the Eagles, I'm gonna say it, man. I think they're a trash fan base. And you know why I say that? This is why I say that. This is why I say that, right? Because I think it was a TikToker, right, that made fun of Dak Prescott's mom dying.
Eagle fan.
Who does that?
Well, I mean, you can go.
Come on, man. Like, I'm just saying, like,
let's go a step further. The Cardinals head coach now was saying about how they had the second-ranked defense, and the Eagle fans wanted him out, and he's all like, "What are you talking about? We're undefeated. We have the best defense in the entire NFL, and you want me to not have a job?" So he was saying how difficult it is to be a coach.
The media.
Yeah, no. Well, not only the media, but he just saying the fan base is just horrible there. Yeah, and he was saying this he was saying this in an interview.
So to me, given all that, man, I just don't have. I'm not gonna say I don't have respect because there are some Eagle fans that are pretty good, but when it goes bad, it's really bad. Like, I guess that's my point, you know. So to me, I don't know, man. It's hard.
Well, let's get back on subject, right? We're already established, right? I mean, we got a little bit off. Let's get back on subject, right? So we already kind of came to a conclusion. We think that there's going to be 24. Okay, well, let's throw Bijan there. 26.
I had to show this because I just found this hilarious, man.
This is Dwight Thrasher. He doesn't want to say hate, but
I found that too funny to not post, man.
I love it. It's all good. So getting back on subject, it was a great comment. Thank you, Dwight, for backing us up. So what I'm trying to get to is I said 21, right? That was defensive line, offensive line, and the 4, maybe 5 quarterbacks all go in the first round. We can go and throw Bijan in there, right? Because he's a blue chipper. So that's about 22 players right there. Who's going to be the first wide receiver taken? And let me go ahead and add that. Is cornerback. You can go ahead and throw cornerback also in that. So 23. So we haven't even talked about wide receivers or tight ends. Who's going to go first, a tight end or a wide receiver? And if so, who?
I'm gonna go wide receiver probably.
All right.
And the first wide receiver, I'm gonna go Zay Flowers.
What pick? What pick?
Well, me personally, I hope it's at 14. But if not 14, I'm gonna say 16. A couple of picks back.
That's the Washington Commanders. I'm sorry about that. The Commanders.
Well, yeah, I can see somewhere, if not somewhere close about 14, but that's where I'm starting at, and it'd be Zay Flowers.
Are you sure, Kendall?
I'm certain. Yes, I know I'm a Jordan Addison fan, but Zay Flowers' stock has been skyrocketing.
But didn't the Commanders select Jahan Dotson last year in the first round?
When I'm saying, like, I think that he would go 14, but it should be somewhere around. I just said 16 or whatnot, but somewhere around between 14 and about 16.
Well, let's just talk about the teams, right? Picking outside. So this is where we're at. So 14th, the Patriots. It looks like they're going to go corner or wide receiver, right? I know you want corner and you want Joey Porter Jr. specifically. Picking 15 is the Packers. Picking 16 Modes. Picking 17 is the Steelers. Picking 18th is the Lions. And picking 19th is the Buccaneers, and 20th is the Seahawks. Of course, the Dolphins they don't have a draft pick, but 21 is the Chargers. Picking 22nd, the Ravens. Picking 23rd is the Vikings. Picking 24th is the Jags. 25th is the Giants, and the Cowboys are at 26. And then you got the Bills, the Bengals, the Saints, the Eagles, and the Super Bowl champ Chiefs Kingdom.
But I think the first possible is probably at 14. At 14.
At 14. So you're saying with your Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Zay Flowers?
Zay Flowers.
Wow.
Take it to the bank.
Harvey, who do you have, Harv?
I honestly think the first wide receiver taken will probably more than likely. Man, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
I'm gonna have to go with the Green Bay Packers.
At 15.
Yep.
Wow. So you mean to say they're gonna go ahead and just stick it to Aaron Rodgers by not only trading him away, but giving Jordan Love a wide receiver, something they've never done for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, because from what I last heard, or at least seen, Jordan Love really doesn't cry a lot. So I think that's why.
Is that what we heard last year in the offseason?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I see Aaron Rodgers more.
Apparently,
than
he threw like a 75-yard bomb on the dime, and he took his shirt off and said, 12 who?
He didn't cry though. He's just trying to say something.
Oh, how do you feel about that?
What about the shirt off and
about the Packers giving Jordan Love a wide receiver at pick 1? And who was the wide receiver you said?
Oh, it's gonna be Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad pick. I think Green Bay is a team that they can go in a lot of different directions. Offensively, they had a lot of injuries on that offensive line, man. And Bakhtiari can never seem to stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's a problem, but he can't. But I'm gonna say receiver goes first, but for me, it's kind of confusing. I think Houston, for me, if I believe they're going quarterback at 2. I think this whole Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson stuff is a bunch of nonsense. I think they're going to go quarterback at number 2. And when you look at number 10, not number 10, but number 12, they need help. They need a lot of help, man. Offensively, they struck gold, I think, with Dameon Pierce as a mid-round pick. So they got the running back situation set. They've invested some assets in the offensive line. As we mentioned earlier in the show, Kenyon Green is a guy who can play multiple spots on that offensive line. I'm going to go with – I'm going to play this off of D'Amico Ryans and what they had in San Francisco. Who are their biggest weapons?
They're wide receivers.
And their tight end, right?
And their tight end, correct.
Okay, they had an all-world tight end that could do multiple things, right?
That is correct.
Okay. A lot of people do view Michael Mayer as a first-round pick. A lot of people view Dalton Kincaid as a first-round pick. Also, I think those guys are possibilities at 12. Also, at 12, Jackson Smith and Jigba, to me, out of all the receivers, he's the one that fits what San Francisco was more so. That Deebo Samuel, that Brandon Ayuk type of body mode, those guys that are really good in the West Coast, very good after the catch. Not really speed guys, but Deebo, he's really good after the catch, can make you miss. He can turn that quick slant or that short dig into a 45-yard play. Ayuk as well, even though it took Ayuk a couple years to really come into his own. So if I'm just playing off of what Ryans had when they were in San Francisco, I think guys like Michael Mayer, and if they do go receiver, I do think Jackson Smith and Jigba will probably be the most consistent and best bet for them.
But the Texans do have the return of John Mechie and, of course, Nico Collins.
We don't know what Mechie's gonna, man. Like, that's something serious to come back from, man.
It is, but
so what's the pick? I'm confused.
I'm gonna go with. Oh man,
I would say Dalton Kincaid to the Texans is logical.
I think Mayer fits what they need more. He's better overall. He's going to help in the run game. He can also stay in and help and block in the pass game. He's not that fast, but I do believe he had the highest graded contested catch rate in the nation last season. So he's money in the red zone also. I just think he's a security blanket somebody's going to fall in love with, man. I said he wouldn't be bad for us at 18 for Detroit.
Well, are you talking about Michael Mayer or?
So he's saying,
I like Mayer better than
Walt.
Kincaid.
So Walt's saying his first wide receiver taken off the board will be Michael Mayer.
No, in Jigba.
You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one
because I'm not sure what they're thinking about. Okay, if I'm taking, I'll say Houston at 12. Yes, because I do think they're going quarterback at number 2.
You remind me of my wife when I ask her,
"Oh man,
where do you want to go eat?" I don't know, wherever you want. Come on, man.
Nah, like I said, we have no idea what they're going to do at 2 because this team does have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's all predicated off what they do at number 2. But I do believe if they take a quarterback at number 2, they go receiver at number 12 because they got to stop playing around. Like Nico Collins, he's okay. They don't know what they're going to get from Mechie. They just traded Cooks up out of there. So it's like at some point in time, I'm interested in seeing how DeMeco Ryans builds this team. Because we've had this discussion about defensive-minded head coaches that will not do what's in the best interest of their young quarterback. And you wind up being a young quarterback with a decent offensive line but no weapons, and your defense is stacked. And they kind of expect you to just run around and just make things happen. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do at number 2. But like I said, if it's quarterback at number 2, I think it's wide receiver at number 12, and it would be Jackson Smith and Jigba.
A good choice, man. I think that I actually think that with the Texans, I actually think they're going to go Dalton Kincaid. I think that with Dalton Kincaid, the consensus right now amongst all scouts in the NFL, even though I don't see it, is that Dalton Kincaid is a blue chip type of a player at the tight end position, and he's worth a top 10 pick. So people see Kelsey
in the body type and everything, and the high catch. Yeah.
So it only makes sense is if you're going to go wide receiver, get him a best friend. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba and CJ Stroud, if that's the pick at 2, damn, they could continue their growth together, and they have been best friends. And man, Jackson Smith and Jigba is a quarterback's best friend, man, because when you see everything, when you see him turn around, you see him show you his numbers, that means that he's ready to catch the ball. He has that communication. He did it best with Justin Fields. There's so many rumors out there. I would take Kincaid would probably be the first one. I think for sure. I think I can kind of see a wide receiver not being picked up until 15. So this is very likely just because of the course and the trajectory of, I think that the NFL teams are starting to realize they can't just go off of luxury picks anymore. They have to solidify their defensive line, offensive line. I think this draft is going to be one of them heavy ones. And who knows? Why are we hearing Jonathan Mingo in the first round and maybe even the first wide receiver taken? That's another question to answer. 4 days away, gentlemen.
Because he's a beast.
We're talking about
he fits that physical mold of AJ Brown and DK Metcalf, 6'2", 220, sub 4.5 40.
I think he was
suffered from bad quarterback play. Like you can run the story on and on for those Ole Miss receivers.
I believe he's 6'2", 220. Hand size is 10 and 3.8. Yep. Arm is 32 and 1.8. He ran the 40 and 4.46.
I also heard he's Constantino wire for breakfast and pisses napalm. So just throwing that out there.
He bench pressed the 225, 22 reps. He had a 39.5-inch vert. Wow, that's really good.
Man, it's something with them Ole Miss receivers.
There is something with those Ole Miss receivers. So watch out. This name could be a first-round pick in this year's draft. The first wide receiver. I'm sorry. He could be a first round. Rodgers does cry a lot, and his face just looks stupid to me. I'm ready to see what Love can do. He's talking about Jordan Love, not about.
As a Lions fan, I'm ready to see what Jordan Love can do too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, especially Kendall, I think Kendall was high on Jordan Love when he was coming out. Texans will trade down a couple of picks. Alex, do you really think the Texans will do that?
This is
Because-
the thing, man. This is the thing. This is the thing. I keep saying it.
Are you telling me that the Cowboys and the Texans are going to pull off a trade? Oh,
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
No.
And the Texans are going to, what the Cowboys are going to trade up to number 2 and take the next Deion Sanders, Christian Gonzalez.
No.
He says
Jerry gives up all his picks.
they will wait till next year for a quarterback. Wow. So you're on you. So Alex, you really do think that the hype for Will Anderson at 2 is real? Hello.
What's up, Hoodlum?
What up, Hello from Dwight? Also, I appreciate you guys being on the stream. We miss you guys. We're gonna be on the Cowboy Cast next, so get ready. But we're just talking about there's a possibility of just amongst the defensive line, offensive line, at least 19 to 22 potential first rounders in the first half of the draft. Hullum gave a shout out to Dwight. So gentlemen, 4 days away. That's it for us, man. You guys want to end it off any better? I mean,
Nah, man. I know Kendall can't wait. He calls me. He's like, I'm nervous. What do you think? I don't know, Kendall. I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
it's funny.
But-
'cause we call each other we're all nervous, man.
But
And
hey, man. So like, for me, I'm excited and stuff. But I don't want to be in Walt's shoes. That's for sure.
What, with two first round picks?
yeah.
No, I'd be nervous. I'm nervous with the 26th pick.
Man, we about to nail both of them.
Oh,
The good thing. Go ahead, Harvey.
No, to me, I mean, it's going to be hard to miss, and if you miss, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we still have zero idea what's going to happen at 6.
it's gonna be Christian Gonzalez.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Holmes hasn't let us know anything. He doesn't tell the media anything.
It's going to be C.J. Stroud, the 2023 draft.
Don't
The
tell
Detroit Lions
Walt will
trade
be so
their
happy.
6th pick, their 3rd, and their 5th, and their 6th
What will be
for
so
the 2nd pick for C.J. Stroud. Watch.
May not have to. He may fall to 6 with all this this bad rhetoric that's going on around him about how he blew off the Manning camp. You can't blow off a Manning anything, huh?
Yeah. Manning's royalty in the NFL. Well, that's what we know. Kendall, what's up?
I'm not even gonna be able to sleep Wednesday night. I've been going back and forth. Joey Porter.
Tossing and
Joey,
turning.
I know we all have PTOs. We all have to take off at work.
Oh my God.
Look, Joey Porter. Zay
I do
Flowers.
not want to
I've
be
been
in
going-
Kendall's shoes, boy, dealing with that organization, knowing how they
Hey,
draft,
look,
man.
I've been going back and forth. Hey, do I want Joey Porter? Do I want Zay Flowers?
It don't matter, Kendall.
Hey, Kendall.
And then on draft day, the Patriots select John Michael Schmidt.
Center.
Pete Skoronski. Watch what happens. I could not be a Patriot fan.
No, they're going to
man.
be
No,
like
I'm
center.
I
No,
could not be a
Hey,
Patriots.
they're going to be like center from Ohio State.
Luke Weipler.
Bro, like, please don't mess it up this year. We're in a good, like, the good news is we're sitting at.
If New England take another offensive lineman in the first round, Kendall will cut his phone off till the following Tuesday, man. Hey,
I can't-
Kendall
bro,
to shut down the Patriots page and everything on
It's funny
YouTube.
'cause-
Hey,
it's
Kendall.
funny 'cause last year we was on the board.
No,
I
it
wanted,
ain't.
I wanted George Pickens. I just knew we was gonna get George Pickens. We draft Cole Strange, and then
Hey.
we trade up for Taquan Thornton. I'm like, what the world?
If they get an offensive line, it's not going to be Kent's Pats, y'all. It's going to be Kent's Cowboys.
Hey, yes,
Say
sir.
Kendall then shut down the Pats page, huh?
Man,
Yeah,
I might lose it, bro. I might.
Yeah,
lose
Kendall will be a Cowboys fan.
He will.
So New England Patriots do the right thing for Kendall and Ken's pet
Please.
stock.
Please, Joey Porter, Zay Flowers. Please don't mix it up. Don't make it harder than what it is. Just one of the two. I'll be happy.
So all right, well that's it for us, man. That's a
There's
lot.
one
of
more
fun.
comment. There's one more comment.
Oh, all right,
You
all right.
can't miss a comment.
My bad.
It's a good one.
Just like the Lions got nailed with a couple of players gambling. Yeah.
Well, let me comment on that.
Ah,
Let me-
here we
how do
go.
how do you
Here
feel
we
about
go.
I want to hear what you. I want to hear how.
Well, listen, how I feel about it. The two guys that didn't matter, Moore and Cephas, they're out of here. Stanley doesn't really matter. Jameson, he's out for the first 6 games. The Lions do have the ability to appeal it and get it reduced to 3 games. But I don't think it changes what we do in the first round, though. I still don't think we go receiver in the first round.
The draft right now looks for a Jehovah. What's up? Patriots be doing some wild things sometimes.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, come on, don't make it harder than what it is. It's not that hard.
I'm with Walt. That's why I could never be a Patriots fan, man. But that's it for us. Like, I believe the schedule is Tuesday. We're gonna do another live edition, and then we will be apart on Thursday for the first 5 picks of the 2023 NFL draft. I wish we could do the whole thing, but we're gonna do a watch along. I believe that's what it's called, right, guys?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. For the first 5 picks, right?
For the first 5 picks, because the draft is long. I believe the first day is 4 hours. The next day is about 5 hours almost.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 hours also.
Yeah. The first round should be over like around 11:30. I think close to 11:30. So
we will do a watch along, and we hope to do the watch along with you guys. So make sure you guys tune in, subscribe.
We can go ahead and connect all of our page. Well, we can connect the Patriots page, the Lions page, and then we'll be streaming on all 3 pages.
That is also a very true statement. We could do that. So we could be on Ken's Pet Talk, and it'll be streaming off of Ken Pet Talk, Cowboy Cast, and off of Walt and East West. So that is a correct statement. So keep an eye out. Tuesday we'll have one more live. We're gonna go through anything. If there's any kind of breaking news, we'll go live also. But for sure, Thursday, the first 5 picks. Join us then. But that's it for us, guys. We'll see you guys then.